nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call members, please.
Gary Ross.
Here.
Anthony Grass.
Here.
Carl Kinski.
Here.
Tina Bryant.
Here.
Justin Donovan. Kathy Waltz. Christy Clegborn.
Here.
Joe Prince.
Here.
Good quorum.
Approval of the agenda for October 7th. On the agenda, we have L&H Rental Properties, LLC, requesting a rezoning from an R1 single-family residential to an I2 heavy industrial for the part of parcel located at 175 South Coin Street. A request from L&H Rental Properties, LLC, to transfer Coin Street.
Motion to approve the agenda?
Have a motion?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the minutes from July 1, 2021.
I'll move to approve.
I got a motion?
I'll second.
A second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Introduction of evidence.
We have the city municipal code, comprehensive plan. You have the staff reports I sent you earlier in the week, and then there are some additional addendums to that at your seats.
Motion to approve the evidence as submitted?
I have a motion?
A second.
A second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Citizen input. Yes, Greg. Old business, any?
None, sir.
New business. L&H Rental Properties, LLC is requesting rezoning from R1 single-family residential to I2 heavy industrial for part of the parcel located at 175 Coin Street. Right?
Can I go over a few things first, sir?
Sure.
In my staff report, you'll see, I guess, my thinking on the recommendation there of why this is being asked for. At your seat is also this sheet. It's an addendum to that report. There were some questions about the zoning of this particular parcel, so I wanted to cover those questions. Concern spot zoning, which this is not, but if you wish to ask any of those questions, here are some answers, or I can get you additional answers to those questions. Mr. Hilbert submitted his application on, I believe, September 15th. He and his partners own a 10.22 acre parcel at 175 Coin. Approximately 85% of it is already zoned I2. The other 15% is R1. And as you can see in the staff report there, he wishes to, for some specific business reasons, to rezone that to I2. You else got it, Greg?
Well, I thank everybody for being here this evening. The only thing, that we need this rezone for is for future building expansion. We do have plans to put a roadway on our private property to help us get heavy trucks around the back of the facility. Right now, with what we've got going with our current tenants and incoming tenants, there's going to be an influx of heavy truck traffic. And by putting in a private drive, we're going to eliminate a lot of the trucks that are going to be out on Market Street, 10th Street, and tying up all those intersections. So in addition to that, we're hoping to expand our facility north toward Market Street. It won't be happening in 2022, maybe not 2023, but long term. So before we do this dirt work to put in our roadway, we want to know if there's going to be a possibility to be able to expand our plant, the footprint of it, for more warehouse space, which will give us more dock doors and just a bigger facility for these guys. It's a logistics company. You guys have seen them in and out of there. And they're going to outgrow this space probably in a year or two. So what we're wanting to be able to provide them is a bigger footprint. And to do that, we're going to be crossing into the residential zone with our addition. No matter, that hillside is not ideal for an addition. It only fits one direction, and that's toward Market Street. If we parallel our current property, we got drainage issues, utility issues, all kinds of stuff. So what we're asking is to consider changing the residential zone into I2, which is consistent with what we're already zoned. I industrial usually comes with concerns of excess noise, fabrication, manufacturing. This is gonna be strictly warehousing. The only noise will be semi-traffic, and it's gonna be during workday hours. It's not gonna be nighttime traffic. So none of that should be a concern. I know a lot of these residential lots that we're looking to rezone were part of a subdivision that was planned, the Geneva home site. If you guys are familiar with that, I don't know what homework has been done or what's on the table there, but the Geneva home site made up most of the original Built West property. So a lot of these original residential lots have already been rezoned to I-2. So we're just asking for the remainder of them that sit on our property to follow suit.
Questions, comments?
Yep.
I'm assuming this is all gonna be down level more with the existing building. It's not gonna be up in the air with the existing elevation,
It
is
would
it?
be much lower. We would be removing close to 40,000 yards of dirt.
And then,
Our floor elevations our new floor elevation will only be 4 feet above our current. So much lower.
and as far as on the Market Street side, this is just coming from a little bit of feedback that I got. Is there gonna be any kind of trees or anything planted to, instead of having a half of a building sticking up out of the ground, or?
So our top of roof elevation will not be much above Market Street elevation. Even with an 18-foot tall wall, with our peak, we're only gonna be 4 or 5 foot taller than Market Street. To buffer that, we talked about some type of shrubbery, some type of landscaping, or even some type of dirt moguls that we landscape and heat mowed.
And then the only other concern that was brought up was with the roadway that you're gonna have going around it. I'm assuming it'll be paved, not gravel.
Well, I think initially it'll be gravel. It's gonna take some time to get that thing, settled in. You can't just pave it right away. I mean, the hillside going down toward the west end of the property will probably be paved because it'll be a heavier incline.
Well, the concern was about dust and
Sure.
how it's gonna affect the other houses on Mary Ellen mostly.
Along Mary Ellen there.
Yeah.
If it becomes an issue, then we would pave it.
The other side isn't paved, it's gravel, and it's not a problem.
What other side?
The other Built West side.
Back by the tracks you're talking
Oh.
about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's gravel.
Yeah.
I don't think it's feasible to say right now that we can pave it immediately, but long-term, yes, if it became an issue. We don't want any of the neighbors to be upset.
Any more questions, comments?
Maybe Dave, there's a long list of neighbors that you sent, anybody contact you about any complaints, or
No,
evidently there's nobody here, so,
right, and as you can see, we sent out, it was in the realm of 25 to 30
Right.
notices, and I got no responses.
okay. Good.
We, basically, I notified anyone within 185 feet. 5 feet.
Yeah.
If there's no objections, I make a motion to approve.
I second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Gary Roth?
Yes.
Anthony Grass?
Yes.
Carl Kinski?
Yes.
Gina Bryant?
Yeah.
Christy Cleghorn?
Yes.
Joe Prince?
Yes.
Motion carries 602.
A request from L&H Rental Properties LLC to transfer Coin Street.
So I'm going to hand out the letter that, first off, I want to point out the reason the agenda was amended. Greg had asked about this a month ago,
Roughly, yeah.
and we had thought about putting it on a work session for the Board of Aldermen. I believe Happy mentioned it to them, and they seemed amenable to it, but there wasn't necessarily an agreement to it. And then Greg asked about it at the beginning of the week, and Happy and I agreed we should put it on the P&Z, who is the controller of the city's comprehensive and master plan and get a recommendation from P&Z before we go to the Board of Aldermen. So that's why it was added kind of last time. So what you have there is a request letter from Greg asking for transfer of Coin Street and giving you some additional information. And then the sheet that I typed up that gives you just a few basics on Coin Street. And then a recommended motion if you choose to go that route. So what we would be doing, if you so choose, would be to recommend to the Board of Aldermen to basically vacate that street.
Is there any utilities located under that street that are a concern?
There's none, there's stormwater. Gary might be able to get some more information.
And all that stormwater does is collect and run 20 feet out in his property and then surfaces again.
And then there is a 6-inch water main that runs along the east line of Coin, and then it would bump up against 1090 Market, like most of our.
Because I think that the ditch at the bottom of the road that runs behind your buildings,
Yeah.
that's beyond the city street, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you guys do have a water main that runs down to my water pit, where
Yeah.
all of our water disperses from. That would be there, but that feeds just our property anyway.
Yeah, the water line that runs there feeds him.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sewer line, I think, runs all the way under the building.
It goes into a meter pit first, and then we actually have about 6 different branches it goes on, yeah.
So that property owner at 1090 Market, you plan to give them an easement to get to their
Yes.
shed?
Yeah, the only way he can get to the shed in the back of his yard is to come down that hill. And he's been real easy to get along with. And we're not gonna, even during construction, he'll still have access to it. We're not gonna be doing a whole lot of changes to the road. We're just gonna reshape that entrance up at Market Street so that we can get trucks in and out of there safer and quicker. We don't want them to hold up traffic pulling out of there, so we're gonna try to have more of a level spot up there.
Motion to approve?
Have a motion?
I'll second.
Time out, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Sorry.
Are we going with, the motion I typed up, because I wanted to be very specific, what we were recommending was to vacate property known as Point Street and transfer ownership as such to L&H Rental, or as allowed by Missouri state statute, because there are some statutes involved there, and that adequate easement be provided for the parcel located at 1090.
That is my motion.
Thank you, sir.
Is that your second?
That is my second.
Oh, it was your second, okay.
My second.
Roll call, please.
Gary Roll.
Yes.
Anthony Graff.
Yes.
Carl Kinski.
Yes.
Gina Bryant.
Yes.
Christine Cleghorn.
Yes.
Joe Prince.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0-2.
I'm ready for another motion here.
To adjourn?
Yep.
I make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.